Fáilte go Scottish Football Gold. An sa program seo has na caiit arás cuairtíoranach ba cúpla líg na Halapa an na 9-3 idir Rangers agus Hibernian. Nis van dasca ba gama cleachtir is a cuairtíoranach seo agus Rangers a búnach go cúpa a bblion na Royal Live le Hibernian ga chúgal a bblion na Royal sin. Apar gemme a bhanan noch gawarc.
So really a remarkable, noisy atmosphere, as you would expect for a cup final. The first time Hibs and Rangers have met in the League Cup final. There's Peter Houstra getting the chance to make amends for being ordered off in the semi-final against Celtic. Kevin McAllister enjoying this big occasion, a cup final in Scotland for the first time in his career. Such a key man, adding that little bit of imagination and flair up front to join Keith Wright and Darren Jackson for Hibs. A very experienced player, Trevor Stephen, for Rangers, has won trophies with Everton, then with Rangers, and then in that spell in Marseille, coming back after a lengthy injury problem. Now played a number of games to sharpen up for a final such as this. Darren Jackson has also been past fit, a £400,000 signing from Dundee United just over a year ago. Well, Hibs supporters here with lots of hopes, indeed perhaps some expectation. Well, Hibs last won the trophy 2 years ago. They also won it in 1972-73. Twice in their history they've won it. And they're looking for a hat-trick now. Rangers having won it 18 times since 1946. The first time the trophy was competed for. So Hibs get the game underway. Michael O'Neill sprinting through the middle looking for that early pass which appeared to come from the training ground. So first touch for Ali Maxwell. Michael O'Neill released there to go into an attacking position early on, and Ali Maxwell playing in his second major final, having played of course for Motherwell in 1991 in the 4-3 victory over Dundee United. Hunter challenging Haitley. That's a very good first challenge by Gordon Hunter. Always does a defender a lot of good that to win an early high ball like that, Billy.
Well, I think it's important when you're playing against Mark Haitley. It's always good to see your centre halves get up above the big centre forward, getting a good head, and I think it settles down the whole team.
So Stephen Tweed for Hibs, looking for Keith Wright, who's over there on the left. Keith Jackson playing through the middle early on. Kevin McAllister's been allowed to go well forward. Confident play by young Stephen Tweed, 21-year-old defender. And the long ball is too far ahead of Keith Wright. Glorious conditions overhead and underfoot for this final. So the throw taken there by Gary Stevens, looking for Haitley. Durant has started the match up front beside Haitley. This is Trevor Stephen. Houstra's on the left. Going through the middle, it's good running by Houstra. An early chance. And Haitley now turned away by Tweed. And Peter Houstra had a wonderful chance there early in the match to open the scoring. It was a great tackle in the end by Willie Miller.
Yeah, it's an interesting move. Hibs open up progressively, but Rangers quickly open them up here. It's a good run.
The corner kick causing problems also. There's Trevor Stephen. Wow. A very quick start by Rangers, but Peter Houstra really will be wondering why he didn't do better with that effort. The answer, there's Mark Haitley's header, cleared in the end by O'Neill, and the shot from Stephen over the top, but credit must go to Willie Miller, the young Hibernian right back, who pulled off a marvellous saving tackle on Peter Houstra as he was in the act of shooting there. Well, that's brought the Rangers supporters to life vocally. Rangers trying very hard to take the initiative, and Hibs realising early on they may be leading the league, but they have a very tough task ahead in this match. There's David Robertson's header, and McAllister will retrieve for the throw, which he leaves to Willie Miller. Well, Willie Miller's tackle was very important. He maybe asked a question though, whether or why Peter Hauser got so much space, but he certainly retrieved the situation, the young fullback. Ferguson in midfield with Hamilton. That's Michael O'Neill and Hauser. And Michael O'Neill crashing into the tackle. Advantage will apply with Rangers in possession. I'm sure that would have been a free kick otherwise. There's Gary Stevens. Now Ian Ferguson. David Robertson breaking on the left, but the pass is too strong. Well, David Robertson's been involved in League Cup finals frequently. Lost with Aberdeen in 1988. He won in 1989 and then won here for Rangers a year ago. Well, not here, but in the final of last year. Hateley's header goes out. So the throw to Willie Miller for Hibs. Here's David Farrell. Will do a digging in defensive job in midfield for Hibs. So Maxwell walking out with the ball and trying to change the trajectory of the clearance, make that more difficult for defenders. Durant did well. There's Gordon Hunter. Turned away by Stevens, and Alec Miller taking the chance to walk to the touchline there to return the ball, and I've no doubt give a few words of advice to Graham Mitchell, who's taking the throw. Mitchell's header. This is O'Neill, and the flag is up against Keith Wright. With Keith Wright operating on the left of a three-pronged Hibs attack early on. Jackson through the middle, McAllister on the right. A clear indication from Hibs that they want to get forward. This is Houstra looking for Hateley, who's offside. Well, the Hibs defenders spotted that flag, heard the whistle and stopped moving there as Hateley moved into that offside position. So Jim Leighton with the goal kick. Jackson strong on the ball. Stopped there by Goff, looking for some help from the referee, but looking in vain. Houstra inside, that's McCall. Durant again doing well in the air, marked this time by Gordon Hunter. Here's Jackson, screening the ball from McPherson. Farrell looking for Keith Wright. Stevens did well. Now has to retrieve the pass made by Richard Goff. Well, Gary Stevens perhaps not yet fully back to his best after that very lengthy injury spell. Good movement there provided by Jackson for the throw. This is Mitchell. Turned away by Goff, and Hibs will accept the throw at the corner flag. Some work to do for Richard Goff and his colleagues in the Rangers back four. Jackson's layoff. There's O'Neill. Brian Hamilton is going forward. Here's Willie Miller. Headed by McAllister. Blocked by McPherson. Rangers finding it difficult to get the ball out of the danger area. Stevens does so eventually. And Hateley going across to put pressure on the Hibs defence, which he does so very well, Billy. A feature of Hateley's play, quite apart from his attacking qualities, he doesn't give a defence piece.
Well, that's right. He looks very sharp at the minute. I think he's benefited from the fact he's had a little bit of a rest this week, and he looks sharp, he looks powerful, he's always a threat in the air. That's something that Hibs will certainly have to watch for.
Jackson leaves that to Wright. Here's O'Neill. Stevens had to be careful there. A rash challenge there could have given Hibs a penalty. Stevens too experienced for that. There's Willie Miller. It reaches Mitchell. Well, he'll be disappointed with that miscued ball across the face of goal. Slicing it behind for the goal kick. Graham Mitchell's been such a superb servant to Hibs following his transfer on the last day of 1986 from Hamilton Accies.
There's a good opportunity here for Graham Mitchell to fire in a good ball across the face of the goal, but it hits a miserable shot, and away goes the danger from Rangers. And interesting at the minute, Jock, because Hibs seem to be pushing Keith Wright away on that left-hand side and leaving a space in that left channel for Michael O'Neill to break through. And once or twice he's almost caught Rangers on the hop.
Interesting that Hibs have been confident enough to line up with a 4-3-3 formation. The midfield trio has Brian Hamilton on the right, David Farrell in the centre, and Michael O'Neill on the left. But it's Keith Wright who's hugging that left touchline, and very interesting tactics provided by the Hibs manager, Alec Miller. Very much a thinker on these matters. Here's O'Neill. Goff got his head to that. It's kept in play by Keith Wright. Movement ahead from McAllister. Stevens did well, and so did Jackson, closing down Stephen. Space now on the left for Houstra. Robertson goes sprinting past him. Willie Miller took up good position there. Farrell's pass dinked into a space there, hoping to pick up McAllister, but it's McCall. Now Jackson. The late challenge there by McCall on Jackson. The ball had gone straight to Dave McPherson. A rash one that by McCall. He hasn't played since the international in the Olympic Stadium in Rome 11 days ago. So 10 minutes of the match gone, still no scoring. Hibs with a set piece to exploit, and every Rangers player has been pulled back to face the ball. McAllister towards Tweed. Haitley was defending well for Rangers. This is McAllister. Looking for Tweed again. No real threat from the header. Long trek back for the big centre half. Haitley's on his own there. And Haitley and Miller clashing there. Well, the referee, I thought, must have seen that. And a hand was raised by Haitley. Well, this was certainly a hazardous moment for the big Rangers striker.
This was a little bit of a chance for Hibs there, but it didn't get in a perfect enough header to trouble the goalkeeper, but certainly gave Rangers indication it was going to be a threat in the box.
So Maxwell being left alone by the Hibs front three. Houstra's header. Hunter with Haitley. Headed on by McAllister. Well, both sides, I'm sure, would prefer the ball on the ground. And they have the chance now with the throw. And the referee is now going to have words with Mark Haitley and Willie Miller. Now, this reflects that incident just a few minutes ago when the two players clashed after landing together on the ground. They got up, exchanged some unpleasant words initially, and then a hand was certainly raised by Haitley to push Miller away. And a blow in the face for Willie Miller from Houstra. The free kick goes to Hibs. It's all a little bit untidy at the moment, Billy.
Yes, that's right, it is. It's the game started quite openly and both teams had attacking chances. Rangers in particular had a very good chance, but I think Peter Husser just held on to it too long. But at the moment, it's just that little bit scrappy. Both teams are looking for a hold in midfield, and they haven't quite found it as yet.
Strong play in defence there by Willie Miller, winning possession back for Hibs. Hamilton's throw. This is Ian Ferguson. I haven't seen a great deal of Ferguson and McCall so far in the match in the Rangers engine room. No free kick given there as Tweed clashed with Haitley. Well, referee McCluskey clearly hopes to settle things down by letting the game flow. Well, he likes the game to run as much as possible, referee McCluskey. Certainly looking to apply the advantage rule whenever he can. This is McAllister for Hibs. Turned away by Stevens. Jackson's return. That's Mitchell. Well, break of the ball there, falling kindly for Hibs to O'Neill. An awkward one for McAllister. High attempt there by McAllister to win the ball from Ferguson. Lifted his boot too high, so it is an indirect free kick to Rangers. So it has to be played from the correct spot. McPherson lofting it towards Haitley. He won that well enough from Hunter, but Tweed wins it back for Hibs. That's good play by Tweed. Very determined indeed. Showing a good touch in the ball for the big fellow. Confident play by the under-21 international. Known for his physique and aerial power, but showing that he's got a good bit of skill on the ground as well. Mitchell's free kick. Goff leaves that, and Keith Wright goes in behind him. Just a suggestion there of a misunderstanding between Goff and Maxwell. A little dialogue going on there to sort things out. Headed on by Stephen, and Tweed in very late indeed. He had no chance of getting to the ball there, and went in very heavily behind Ian Durrant. Well, referee McCluskey checks on the damage as Tweed makes his way back to defend.
It's a very rash challenge in actual fact, because he's come away out of his area to make the challenge when really he didn't need to do it. This is one of the problems with Ian Durrant just playing off the centre-forward position. It always makes it difficult for the centre-half.
Ferguson's free kick. Haitley gets up well. That's comfortably taken by Jim Leighton. Well, Jim Leighton played on the Aberdeen side, which beat Hibs in the League Cup final in 1985, and Gordon Hunter, his teammate this afternoon, was on the losing side. An awkward one there, the Rangers defence letting that bounce. That's frequently dangerous. Ian Durrant coming across to put pressure on Willie Miller. Here's Miller again. Durrant battling hard for Rangers. So a quarter of an hour of the match gone. Still no scoring. And it's very tense and ill-tempered at the moment. Either side has settled totally to the football, trying to assert themselves physically at the moment to make certain that each opponent knows they're in a match. Careless one by Ferguson, a good bit of recovery work though. This is McCall. Ferguson is Stephen in space. Here's Trevor Stephen. Good slide of foot there, coming forward, and a fine save by Leighton. Wow, question marks for the Hibs defence, allowing Trevor Stephen so much space.
Yeah, he found an awful lot of room in midfield, but he was caught enough to take it on and sends a good shot, which gives Jim Leighton the ability to remind people that he's playing and he's a good goalkeeper.
It's another good goal attempt by Rangers. Here's Durrant now with a corner. McPherson and Haitley going for the same ball. Still in play. Here's McCall. Looking for Haitley again. Well, Mark Haitley gets up so well, but Hibs clearly have decided that he must not have any unchallenged header. And if the pressure is applied, it's very difficult for Haitley to be accurate. Durrant to Stephen. Here's Ferguson. Rangers trying to assert themselves in midfield now with Ferguson and McCall coming more into things. Robertson to Stephen, who's been given a roving commission now for Rangers. Halstra. Graham Mitchell's head up. Stevens gets the better of Wright. Now Ferguson again. Put in by Goff. Ian Durrant's delicate header, a cushioned header towards Peter Halstra, which didn't quite come off. Well, Jim Leighton savouring this occasion. That excellent save will boost his confidence even further after a marvellous start to the season in Hibs colours. Farrell. Looking for right through the middle. An easy one though for McPherson. This is David Robertson. Haitley took a knock there, and that aerial clash. Well, its reputation has gone well ahead of him, Haitley. He has been competed with all the time. Here he goes again.
It's a typical powerful challenge, but I don't think there was any intent about hitting it, damage it. So Mark Haitley's had plenty of knocks. That won't upset him unduly.
Although he did seem to be getting a little bit agitated, Haitley. No question, I'm getting a free hitter so far in the match. And another Rangers move breaks down before it really begins. Miller's throw goes back to Gordon Hunter. Right to Jackson. Ball breaks kindly for Hibs. O'Neill. McAllister now roaming across to the left. David Robertson doing a good job covering his central defence. This is Stephen. And now Stevens. Durant to Haitley. Put under pressure again very quickly, but there is now space for McCall. Houster's ahead of him. Good running by McCall, matched all the way though by Hamilton. Fine play by McCall and by Jim Leighton. Well, clear indications there that Stuart McCall is coming right back to his best with that forceful play from midfield.
Yeah, it's a typical powerful run from him, but he shows a little bit of composure at the end of it. Sends in a very good cross, but Jim Leighton's right on his toes, comes out and takes away any sense of danger. Good goalkeeping.
Miller forcing up the line. That's David Robertson's clearance. Here's Ian Durant. Now Houstra. Stephen again calling for the ball in space. It could be a problem for Hibs the way Stephen uses his experience to find gaps now. Strong play by Hunter. Still manages a good pass on defence. Brian Hamilton stepping away from McCall, but not from Ferguson. Well, an eagerness about both sets of players, which suggests we're in for an extremely competitive final. You'd expect little else, but there's an edge about the players, which certainly means this game is going to be fought out to the very last. Here's Houstra, being shown inside by Miller. McCall didn't realise Wright was behind him. Here's Ian Ferguson. Now Goff, Rangers putting some passes together. Down goes McCall, fouled by Hamilton. Two very powerful, determined midfield players in direct opposition. Brian Hamilton, who won the cup medal, the Scottish Cup medal. There's the tackle there by Brian Hamilton, who won that medal for St Mirren in 1987 before that League Cup winners medal 2 years ago on the Hibs side. Key man in midfield. Stuart McCall has tasted defeat only once in a domestic cup tie for Rangers. That was against Hibs in the semi-final 2 years ago. Farrell's long pass. There's O'Neill. McAllister drifts off to the left to find space. Now O'Neill. Mitchell's return pass. Good running by Michael O'Neill. Running straight into McPherson. That's Jackson. Now Keith Wright. Well, you can see the idea there to find Michael O'Neill with the first time pass. Good leap by Haitley. Played back by Willie Miller. And Jim Leighton waves Hunter away. Headed on by Wright. Jackson attempting the return. Well, it hasn't taken long in the match so far to bring Walter Smith down from the director's box. He's passed on some words of instruction and then disappeared back up the tunnel. Midway point in the first half, still no goals. O'Neill with Goff. That's Farrell. The pass was too straight. Well, Walter Smith gets back to his seat in the director's box. Well, 20 minutes it took to get him downstairs to sort something out in the Rangers tactical formation. Good play by Farrell. This is Miller, who made his debut for Hibs here at Celtic Park against Celtic in February 1990. Well, McAllister now back on the right, having roamed right across the Hibs front line. Billy, with Hibs committed to 3 men up front, it does give Rangers a chance to overload in midfield. Could this be a problem?
Well, that's right. And obviously, I would like to, if I were in Walter Smith's shoes, I'd like to see Peter Husa get more of the ball to see if he can stretch their defence on this side. If he can get a few runs at the fullback, maybe get a cross or two in, that would certainly give Mark Hateley the opportunity to use his aerial ability. At the minute, though, it seems as though Trevor Steven's the one that's more in the game because he's drifting off the fullback. He's putting a question mark in Graham Mitchell's mind because he's saying, I'm going a little bit deeper. If you don't come with me, I'll pick up the ball. And I think maybe Alex out there trying to get his team reset or getting them reorganising. I think he'll just be a bit concerned that Rangers have had 1 or 2 little chances.
Yeah, there's no question about that. Rangers have had the edge and chances so far. No serious threat to Ali Maxwell in the Rangers goal yet. Hunter again delegated the task of going up with Hateley. Certainly a few inches shorter than the Rangers striker, but certainly will match him for determination. You'll be sure of that. McPherson playing it forward. Willie Miller showing his confidence in possession. Realised that was a Hibs throw. Stephen dropping back. That's through the middle for Durant. Fine play again by Hunter. Well, 10 years he's been at Easter Road as a Hibs player. He's just 26 years old, though. Fine defender. An awkward one for the Rangers defence. Right, get a touch. Here's McAllister with a chance. Fine goalkeeping there by Maxwell. And he's entitled to be disappointed with his defence. McAllister had the first chance of the match for Hibs.
Rangers defenders they back off a little bit, leave it an awful lot of room for McAllister inside that box. Doesn't quite hit the shot, but nevertheless Maxwell was up to it. Here we see it from a different angle, and Keith Wright, who's caused 1 or 2 problems in the air, a real chance for Hibs, a real let-off for Rangers.
And a fine turn of pace there by Trevor Steven. That's what caught out Darren Jackson, and there's a free kick to Rangers. Steven making light of that, to his great credit. Darren Jackson going in late. So a free kick which is taken here by Gary Stevens, and Trevor Steven offers himself short for that. Michael O'Neill matching him all the way. Long throw possibility though for Rangers here with Gary Stevens. Richard Gough has gone to the edge of the penalty area. Hateley the likely target though. No, he switched that to Gough. And now Miller on the counter-attack for Hibs. Got a call there from Brian Hamilton to hold things up, and McCall read that superbly. Tweed has to get to that for Hibs. Very good defending by Stephen Tweed. But McCall did brilliantly for Rangers in midfield to win the ball. He read exactly the Hibs' intentions there. And the Hibs defence undoubtedly stretched at that point. There's the corner, in goes Gough. And now Haustra, still in play. Here's Steven. Turned away by Hunter, then by Wright. A little bit of uncertainty there though again in the Hibs defence. As Robertson robs McAllister. Good header by Mitchell. Well, Hibs again trying to settle. These were anxious moments for them defensively. Brian Hamilton getting up well. That's David Robertson in the heart of the defence for the moment. Richard Gough makes his way back, having been up to support the Rangers attack. Stephen Tweed can head the ball back to Jim Leighton safely. Well, Alec Miller has put together a very adventurous formation for Hibs, but he must be a little bit anxious about some of these moments in midfield and at the back when they've looked a little bit exposed. Here they go again. Haustra breaking in the left. That's a great cross. Hateley challenging, but again, look at the good work done there by Stephen Tweed. That was very good centre-half play.
Yes, once again we see Mark Haley starting the move, sent out to Husra, sends in a good cross, and Haley's at the back post, but Tweed gets with him and doesn't give him a clean opportunity, and that's what you've got to do. There we see the cross again, and Tweed uses his height to put Haley under pressure, and the chance comes to nothing.
Headed away by McPherson, collected well by Stephen, who's becoming more and more influential in the match. Here's Durant with Tweed. The referee being told by the linesman there was a hand used by Durant. It's a free kick to Hibs. Well, Ian Durant didn't appreciate that little bit of work by the far side linesman. Here's Jim Carlin from Linlithgow. Well, the left arm was used. Keith Wright getting up well, and does that extremely effectively for Hibs. A lot of balls played high to the left flank for him to win. This time he's beaten by Goff. That's Stephen. Just too long for Durant. Stephen Tweed playing it in the midfield for Hamilton. Careless one though, it's picked up by Houstrap. Here's Durant. Hateley's found space. Durant wants to go it alone. That's another fine tackle by Willie Miller. Very well timed. On the counter-attack, O'Neill, there's no offside here. Here's McAllister if he can reach this. He didn't make it, the flag is up. Well, that would have been a very promising position for Hibs had the ball stayed in play. It's back from McCall to Stevens. There's Ali Maxwell. Half an hour of the first half gone. Still no scoring, but Hibs have now threatened. That good attack a few moments ago with McAllister's shot well saved by Maxwell. Rangers though have been more of a threat than attack. Jim Leighton has had a couple of very good bits of handling. Keith Wright trying to get to that ahead of Richard Goff. It spins away to Maxwell. Graham Mitchell's header. It's Robertson. The Rangers back four pushing forward. They're trying to leave Keith Wright offside, but he reacted well. David Robertson. Headed away by Hunter. That's Ferguson. Hateley's onside. Here's Durant. And once again, the player making the challenge was Stephen Tweed. But Durant looks very lively indeed up front for Rangers.
That's right, but I think Alec Miller will just be a bit concerned that all of a sudden Rangers starting to get a bit of space. They find the room in dangerous areas, and here we see Mark Hateley's free, sends in a nice ball to Ian Durant, and really Ian Durant didn't do as well as he might have done from that chance.
Well, Ian Durant went for this with the right foot. I wonder if he regrets that now, trying to play it with the outside of the right foot, I think, on the run. So back it goes to Mitchell for Hibs. Headed away by McPherson. This is McAllister. Now Michael O'Neill needs a second attempt to get the ball across, but he was offside. Well, he'll tell his teammates no doubt later that he knew that all the time. The Northern Ireland international has made such an impact since joining Hibs from Dundee United for £245,000. Hunter again with Hateley. Up goes Tweed, well above Durant. Goff winning that from Jackson. O'Neill robbed by Stephen. He certainly has shown enough without for the match this afternoon, Trevor Stephen. He is a potent threat, I think, to Hibs. And Ferguson will accept the corner kick, breaking off Gordon Hunter. A chance for McPherson and Goff to go loping forward to join Hateley in the box. So some serious defensive work required by Hibs. Good play by Tweed, but it reaches Stephen. That took a deflection. It'll be another corner kick, I think. Well, Trevor Stephen, the ball reached him, was so calm inside the penalty box, not snatching at anything, assessing all the options before attempting the shot. Well won by Farrell. Durant wants to keep the ball in play for the benefit of McCall. Leighton's committed. So assured now, Jim Leighton in goal. It really is heartening to see such a successful comeback. McPherson's header. Here's Durant finding some space coming off Hunter. Houstra. Durant getting that towards Ferguson. O'Neill stepped in. Here's McAllister. Miller picked out the run made by Hamilton. Now McAllister looking there for Jackson. McPherson telegraphed the pass, which Willie Miller read well for Hibs. David Robertson reacting to a call to send that back to Ali Maxwell. Well, it's very tense indeed and very competitive and tight in the middle of the field. Trevor Steven appears to provide that extra dimension at the moment for Rangers. There's Durant. The setup again from Hateley. And Durant clearly disappointed with the finishing effort. But another moment of concern, I think, for the Hibs defence. Sally McCoist and Alexei Mikhailichenko have been sent behind the goal to warm up. Well, you can bet McCoist is desperate to become involved. So 10 minutes left in the first half. Still no scoring. And a very, very tight cup final. Good positive play by Gordon Hunter. Well, it was expected to be extremely close, and that's the way it's turning out. But there are just the odd sign here. There are signs that Rangers are taking a little bit of a grip. And here's this man Steven again, setting up Ferguson. And there's David Robertson. The header goes beyond Houstra. Farrell to Jackson. Counter-attack possibility here, but Jackson, having assessed the options inside, waits for support to keep the ball. Trying a more measured build-up. Goff's header finds Ferguson. Here's Steven again. Now Goff. Durant coming off his marker, which does so well in that position. Fouled by O'Neill. It's a free kick to Rangers. Trevor Steven again has found space. Stevens on the overlap, allowing Steven to come inside himself. Swept away by Hunter. But not a good spell this for Hibs, Billy.
No, but Rangers have taken a stranglehold, and certainly Trevor Steven is involved in most of the build-up. He's creating problems for Hibs on that left-hand side because he's dropping back off the fullback, not being easily marked, and it's creating a problem because Ian Durant's doing the same. And I noticed Gordon Hunter having one or two words with David Farrell. I think that's the problem. He wants him to come back and play that a little bit deeper.
Michael O'Neill back, defending inside his own area, heading away firmly for Hibs. Here's Houstra. Tackled well by Miller, but it breaks for Ferguson. Here's Stevens. Trevor Steven, brilliant play again. Giving a fine match for Rangers. That's towards Hateley. The determination apparent there as he clambered all over Gordon Hunter to get his head to that. Hunter clearly believed he was fouled.
It's good play from Trevor Stevens here. He takes him on, sizes up the option, sends the ball to the back post, and there's Mark Hateley climbing in powerfully. I know defenders complain about that at times, but he's really there to challenge for the ball, and that's all he's doing. But look at this little bit of skill from Trevor Steven. And a tremendous ball at the back post, eliminates the goalkeeper, gives Mark Hateley a fair chance.
Steven again taking control of the match for Rangers in midfield. And a rather aimless ball played out of defence. Alec Miller trying to calm things down from the dugout area. So Alec Miller still shouting instructions onto the field. As well he might. I think he'll just be hoping at the moment that his team can get to half-time all square. It hasn't been the happiest of first halves. Rangers really have now taken something of a grip of the game, especially in the middle of the field. Now, Jim Leighton taking the ball for a walk here. I think he realises that a little bit of respite is appropriate for his teammates. Farrell in midfield. This is Mitchell. Farrell's available again. Now Jackson. Fouled by Goff as they try to turn away from the Rangers captain. There's a chance here for Hibs to create something in attack. Stephen Tweed now going into the area again, followed by Haitley. Never shucks his responsibilities, Haitley, both in attack and in defence. It's played in by Mitchell. Maxwell has come for this. Too close to the keeper on that angle, and he looks very calm, Ali Maxwell. McCall well tackled this time by Farrell, snapped into that challenge instantly. That's what he's there for. That's his principal obligation in midfield, to win the ball for the players around him. Farrell again, caught late by McCall. That was a nasty one. Stuart McCall being called over by the referee. Well, not listening to too much the referee had to say. But Farrell took a slow one there as the ball was played forward.
It's a rather reckless challenge by Stuart McCall. I think it's a throwback to an earlier challenge that David Farrell had on him in the early part of the first half. But it's in a position where it's not going to come to any real harm.
So there's Gordon Hunter with the free kick. Yes, remarkable the memories players have. So closing 5 minutes, a very competitive first half. Still no goals. Goff playing it into space there, looking for Ferguson, but Hamilton got there first for Hibs. Well, Jackson got up for that, knowing perfectly well that Dave McPherson was liable to come in behind him and win it, which he did. Mitchell forward, Jackson's offside. Must have been close. Well, always has a word or two to say, Darren Jackson. It's got him into a little bit of trouble with referees over the last year or so. 16 bookings in his Hibs career. So the reverse angle showing that Jackson was indeed offside. Here's Durant. McCall's made a run through the middle. He's a target. Well, had he been able to take that in a run, it would have been dangerous for Hibs. Here's Robertson to Houstra. The angle ball in, won well by Hunter. That's Ferguson. Hibs hoping for an offside decision, which did not materialise. Goff winning that from Jackson. Goff again to Ferguson. This is Houstra. Shown inside. That's the plan, obviously, for Willie Miller. Not to allow Hauser to get in these wide positions and send over too many crosses. So he always shows him inside when he approaches him. Stevens assessing the options ahead. One was Trevor Stephen, but Graham Mitchell read that well. Jackson getting the better of McPherson after a struggle. And crowded out in the end, but Hamilton steps in. Here's Keith Wright. Now, can Hibs conjure up something before half-time? It's back with McAllister. That's a good cross. Only one man in the area there was Darren Jackson. Farrell challenges fiercely against his own teammate, Brian Hamilton. Here's Keith Wright. Goff plays it forward. Ferguson helps it through the middle. Well, that time Haitley backed into Hunter, who did extremely well. Now Hibs coming back again. Jackson. Good running by O'Neill. He's still in possession. This is a chance for Hibs. Keith Wright beaten to the ball there by David Robertson. Fine defending by the Rangers fullback. But a good spell now from Hibs towards half-time. Just when they appear to be slipping out of the game, they've come back and look to be a serious threat to Rangers. Farrell timed that well. This is McAllister beautifully sidestepping Ian Durrant. Jackson's first touch was clumsy. He's suffering from a knock. As Durrant breaks, McCall goes striding through the middle. He knows Houstra will appear on his outside. Good understanding shown there by the Rangers players. So Houstra with Miller. Good play by Houstra. And it's scrambled out to Ian Ferguson. Well, there is no player Rangers would rather have had on the end of that than Ian Ferguson.
It's a nice piece of skill by Peter Houstra. Sends in a nice cross. Jim Leighton's stretch doesn't quite get hold of it, but it falls kindly for Ian Ferguson. It's normally the type of position that he relishes.
Well, beaten away there by Leighton. Hunter did well initially, but there must have been hearts in Hibs' mouths there as Ferguson was striding onto that. But Houstra did it so well. Leighton committed himself. It was nudged away to the edge of the area. Plenty of players, though, to block the shot. So hold up here while Stuart Colley, the Hibs physio, gives some treatment to Darren Jackson. So Jackson will remain on the field. Half-time approaching. He'll be able to have some additional treatment. Keith Wright beaten to the high ball by Goff. That's Durrant. Now Stephen looking for a runner wide on the right there for Rangers. Tweed into the midfield area where McCall wins it. Here's Stephen again. Closed down by O'Neill. So we're into injury time here at the end of the first half. Rangers holding sway in the middle phase. Hibs coming back strongly towards the end. Gary Stevens with a long throw. That's Hateley. Now Durrant looking there for Ian Ferguson. And Hamilton brings it clear for Hibs. Plenty of movement ahead. Here's Willie Miller. McAllister wants it played to feet. He's away from Houstra. Into the gap it goes for Keith Wright. That's good play. Keith Wright goes down, and it was a dive. Ali Maxwell gesticulating to Keith Wright, and I think the Hibs centre forward will be booked for that. A yellow card it is for Keith Wright, and from this position that appeared to be a perfectly good decision. Keith Wright could have got to that ball ahead of Maxwell, could have gone on to try to score, but he elected to go down. We'll see it from this angle.
It's a nice pass in here. Keith Wright does well because he's got a real opportunity of rounding the goalkeeper. I think the referee was right, and I think that Keith Wright was just a little bit silly to go down so quickly. If you look at it here, in actual fact makes contact. He gets his space around the goalkeeper. I think he was too ready to go down, too quick to look for a penalty.
Well, referee Jim McCluskey appeared to be absolutely correct there, and that reflects very poorly, I have to say, on Keith Wright, because it was a good goal-scoring opportunity, that. And he was ready to go down as he went to the ball. And I think from this angle again, that'll be established. There's no way, in my view, in which Maxwell made contact. And that was the referee's view. So Keith Wright trying to deceive the referee. And then a penalty kick in that position. Up goes Hateley, climbing though blatantly on the shoulders of Tweed. And this match is certainly still wide open at half-time. It's Hibernian 0, Rangers 0. So referee Jim McCluskey satisfies himself all around that all is well, and Rangers set us off for 45 minutes, and perhaps more, of course, because this match has to be settled this afternoon. Extra time and penalty kicks if required. But here's Trevor Stephen, who was so influential in the first half, setting up Ferguson. Well, he played that to his wrong foot, if you like. That's a snap volley, and it's very well taken by Leighton. Trevor Stephen showing his menace early in the second half, and Jim Leighton demonstrating again his growing confidence.
It's a type of shot. Trevor Stephen hits it well, but it's a type of shot that can trouble a goalkeeper, bouncing right in front of him. But Jim Leighton takes it comfortably, takes any hint of danger away from it, and lets his defenders know that he's secure behind them.
The layoff there from Durrant, and that's Miller up with Houstra. Important challenge that by Willie Miller. He's complaining that there might have been an offside decision, I think. That's his main complaint. Bitterly complaining to referee McCluskey. He'll do himself no favours with that. Indeed, running himself close to a yellow card, I would suggest, as Durant goes across to take the corner again. Dave McPherson on the near post. Goff makes a run with Haitley. That's Brian Hamilton. Ferguson again, playing it wide for Durant. Hunter in the way again for Hibs. That's David Robertson. Wright going up with Goff. And William Miller standing in no ceremony, thumps the ball clear. Gary Stevens has to play it back to Maxwell. Kevin McAllister putting him under pressure. Stephen, McCall, Stevens. Maxwell's clearance helped on its way by Ferguson. Well, Hibs opening up in the second half with Jackson on the right. McAllister started off through the middle, coming across here to the left to close down Stevens. Keith Wright starting off on the left also. And it's Haitley forward. That's cut off well by Miller. David Robertson finds Houstra. This is promising for Rangers. There's the cross to Durant. Michael O'Neill runs the ball clear. McAllister knew he was being threatened there from the rear by Goff. That's Mitchell. And the offside flag is up against Brian Hamilton, who made a very good long run from midfield. So Rangers in a hurry. There's Stevens. Durant to Stephen. Up goes Houstra! Brilliantly saved by Leighton. Well, such a surprise. The cross, I'm sure, intended for Haitley, but it found Peter Houstra. And when you see the quality of this header, you'll appreciate what a fine job was done there by Leighton to get a fingertip to that. And it's off the post.
Yeah, it's a real good header, and John Leighton just does enough to get onto the post and pass for a corner.
McPherson going up at the near post, and Hibs again living very dangerously indeed. Dave McPherson looking for his second goal of the season.
This is a good corner kick because it's difficult to clear, and Dave McPherson gets in, doesn't get enough on it, but they certainly have got an aerial threat inside that box when the right balls are delivered.
So Jim Leighton again starting off the second half the way he finished the first. Keith Wright's header. And there's Mitchell calming it down. Two players offside, Jackson and Hamilton. The Rangers back four holding their line well upfield, showing a good understanding. Back to the recognised best probably, with four internationals across the back. John Brown may have something to say about that when he's fully fit. So Gary Stevens with a free kick, looking for Haitley. That's McAllister. And now Jackson has to hold it up, look for support. That's much too far ahead of Hamilton. Well, the kind of flowing football which has taken Hibs to the top of the league, not really in evidence yet this afternoon. Certainly seen plenty of their battling qualities in all areas of the field, but fluent build-up play, which has taken them to the top of the league, largely absent as Durant breaks into that corner. Pressurised all the way by Gordon Hunter. The throw goes to Hibs. Good intelligent defending that by Hunter, keeping on his feet as he went in there on Durant, who was at full stretch. Robertson's header. That's Hamilton. Keith Wright up there with McPherson. The covering player is Stevens. The Rangers full-backs do a very good covering job for the central defence when required. McAllister goes down. Free kick to Hibs. Certainly is a handful when he's in possession, Kevin McAllister.
Hibs are obviously trying to get the ball more to McAllister's feet, and there we see typical ability of his to go past people, but brought down for a foul. But I think Hibs have got to get the ball more to his feet so he can take it to his opponent.
Good judgment shown there by Gary Stevens. The ball had gone behind for the goal kick there. So it is a goal kick to Rangers. A remarkable history of matches between the clubs in this competition. In fact, the only time Rangers have beaten Hibs on a neutral ground in the League Cup was in the first competition back in 1946-47. Since then, in the other 3 semi-finals, Hibs have been successful against Rangers. So Stephen has found space again on the right. Good clearing header by Tweed. There's Stephen. Stevens to McCall, a good dummy for Durant. Trevor Stephen calling for the ball. Tweed in the way. Clayton's come a long way to play that to safety. Made up his mind early to come for that. Another indication of confidence. Stevens back towards Stephen, but Keith Wright steps in. This is Jackson. Brought down by McPherson. Well, Jackson takes these passes up to feet very successfully normally, and I'm sure McPherson realised that. Jackson trying to get the better of Stevens at the corner flag, and the result there is a goal kick to Rangers. The referee having a lingering eye in that situation to see if Jackson and Stevens were getting a little bit upset with each other. So out of character for Gary Stevens, and Darren Jackson has kept himself well in check this afternoon. A volatile character. Referee McCluskey has coped extremely well in the match so far. Mitchell's header. There's McPherson. Haitley showing a very good touch on his left foot. Ferguson. Stephen. Trying a little bit too much in that tight position. And David Farrell has a word with the referee, complaining about Stuart McCall's challenge. So now, having had no joy from the referee, Farrell turns his attentions to McCall. A few words exchanged, but nothing more than that. There's Mitchell. Hustled by McCall. Hunter. To the gap it goes. Down goes Jackson. Advantage will apply as Hamilton breaks. That was McPherson at full stretch. O'Neill went in behind him. Another indication the referee wants this match to flow. Farrell. O'Neill. Farrell again. Jackson this time. That goes astray. Played with the stocking soles there by Jackson, who's lost his right boot. Good play there by Hamilton, winning the ball from Durant, who complains that he didn't get a call, but tell him that he was being closed down so swiftly by Hamilton. Farrell nudging it wide. McAllister now on the right touchline. Willie Miller makes an overlapping run. He's good in this position normally. There's Bright. Well, dummy might well have come off. This is McAllister. Better play from Hibs. Miller has stayed forward. Disappointing cross. Mitchell getting it just ahead of McCall. Going in strongly there on Stevens. Fine control there from McCall. Bundled down by Farrell. Free kick taken quickly. Jackson replacing his boots as play rages on. Ferguson to Durant. Haitley return pass. There's Durant. The opening goal for Rangers. Brilliantly finished by Ian Durant. 10 minutes of the second half gone, and this was superb play from Rangers, and it's a goal that has to be said, which has been in the cards for some time. There was Ian Ferguson playing it into Durant. This is his best position, running in defences. Plays it through to Haitley. The return pass goes through the defenders. The ball bouncing there. Durant with great presence of mind lobs it past Jim Leighton.
It's always been on the card, but all credit to Ian Durant. Takes the pass, gives it 1-2. Superb control, superb confidence just to lift that one over Jim Leighton's head. But this has always been the danger, because Durant gets his ability, he's got this ability to lose the defender, play 1-2s, and look at that control. Beautiful finish. Superb goal.
And a goal which certainly Rangers cannot be grudged on the balance of play so far in the match. And Jim Leighton left totally exposed there. You see Durant was played on by Willie Miller as he made the run. The full-back caught wide, playing everyone onside. So Hibs now have to come from behind. And only one side in Scotland has done that successfully against a Rangers team led by Walter Smith since he took over as manager. That's well taken by Maxwell. That was Motherwell just a few matches ago when they came back to win a league match at Ibrox, but that apart Walter Smith's sides going in front and they've been caught. Haitley, the space there which Mitchell occupies. There's McAllister. Well, he's complaining there to his teammates, McAllister. He was short of options as Durant runs offside. Oh, the noise again, all coming from the Rangers end. Here's McAllister. Now O'Neill. In the wide position is Hamilton. Now Miller. O'Neill again. Rather hopeful ever that from long range, carefully watched by Maxwell. But Mike O'Neill, enjoying this opportunity to become involved in the play, has been finding it difficult to get a grip in midfield. Now Stevens. Misunderstanding there with Trevor Steven, who apologises instantly as the pass was released. Started to make a run into that position, then checked out. Goff climbing there to win that from right. This is Graham Mitchell. Good first time pass that by Farrell. Here's O'Neill. And the Rangers players certainly fired up here, closing down players very swiftly in midfield, making it difficult for Hibs to build. Misunderstanding there again as Hunter tried to find Hamilton wide on the right, and here's Jim Leighton showing good judgment as Durant was in the clear. Mitchell forward. Goff has help here from Stevens. Careless one inside. This is Keith Wright. Needs help in the middle. It's turned in by McPherson. Hibs have equalised. Dave McPherson utterly dejected there. And some slack defensive play by Rangers allows Hibs right back in the match. There was Goff's header. Now Stevens played that into no man's land there. Keith Wright was there first, going past Harry Maxwell. He had no Hibs player waiting in the middle, and it was turned in by McPherson.
It's an incredibly poor back pass by Gary Stevens, and here Keith Wright does well. He knows the goalkeeper's wondering what to do. Gets out there, whips the ball in. Dave McPherson turns it into his own net. Didn't get far back enough to protect his line. He's just off the line there. Glads it off his head, and Hibs are back in the game with a vengeance. There we see it again from this angle. He's not going anywhere. And there the ball ends up in the net, so it's all on a game now.
Well, I'm sure Rangers can scarcely believe that. Taking the lead just as they were entitled to in the balance of play, and then the setback coming. Just on the hour mark now, 1 goal apiece. And it's that kind of incident which can turn the game around. Housetrott with the corner. Right under the crossbar for Leighton. Takes it comfortably. Well, now what an amazing turnaround that has created. Keith Wright this time had the chance to go past Harry Maxwell and did so without any other thought to go towards the byline, but he had no support waiting in the middle. Although Dave McPherson, in fairness, wasn't to know that. Here goes Darren Jackson. Good effort by Jackson.
If nothing else, that goal certainly have given Hibs belief in themselves. They'll make a real game of it now, because we really haven't seen anything off of his attacking force up to the goal. Now we see them full of confidence, charging at that Rangers end and creating all sorts of problems.
They wanted to take that corner kick very quickly indeed. The result of the tremendous pace of David Robertson to get to that ball as McAllister threatened to break clear. So Hibs keeping possession from the corner. Stephen Tweed has stayed forward. He'll now have to come back, I suspect, because Rangers on the counter-attack. This is Durant. Closed down swiftly by Mitchell. Mitchell in on Gary Stevens. There's no offside, no free kick there. As Jackson goes through, it's great goalkeeping by Ali Maxwell. But Gary Stevens again caught out badly for Rangers. Right across it goes to McAllister. And that could so easily have been turned in by Goff. Well, suddenly Rangers are ragged at the back, and Ali Maxwell brought off a magnificent save there from Darren Jackson.
It's another little piece of careless defending from Gary Stevens. Darren Jackson's got a real chance to score there, but all credit to Ali Maxwell. Comes off his line quickly, doesn't go down too early, and makes sure that he doesn't get the ball past him.
Now the chance too for Kevin McAllister, rifling that across the face of the goal. Richard Goff swung at that, he made contact. It could have been a second own goal. Haitley doing well. This is Halstra. Now Durant playing it wide. Well, this match has probably increased in pace now with that recent activity in front of goal, and the crowd has responded. The atmosphere really is electric again. Well, Gary Stevens, I'm sure, will want to make a good tackle and play a good pass as quickly as possible, having been caught out a couple of times in the last few minutes. Goff taking that away from Michael O'Neill. McAllister jumping well against Robertson. Walter Smith is back from his seat in the director's box. Clearly contemplating some alterations. It may be that Ali McCoy will be introduced to the fray. Discussion with his close confidant, Archie Knox. Durant's layoff. This is Stephen. Switching the play to McPherson. Robertson's gone well forward. It's well read by Hunter. McPherson playing it back to Richard Goff, who has time to turn around and play the ball upfield. Stephen had to hurry. This is McPherson. And Hibs have taken wings from that boost provided by the goal. And down goes McPherson. He was caught by Jackson. The offside flag is up against Durant, and the ball was released. He was just offside. Darren Jackson living a shade dangerously there, because he clearly brought down Dave McPherson as the big centre-half went sprinting forward. Well, Darren Jackson apologising there to Dave McPherson, trying to keep his temper under control. Played forward by Mitchell towards Keith Wright. Stevens missed it. There's Goff taking the ball to safety. Stevens again. Haitley beaten to that by Tweed. Good header by Trevor Stephen. McCall. Stevens. Goff provided a deep angle there for Stevens. There's McCall. Difficult pass to receive that with two Hibs players around him. That's Dave McPherson. Ferguson forward, space here for Halstra. Haitley waits in the middle. And Gordon Hunter determined to prevent that coming across the face of goal. Durant will take the corner kick, an orthodox one. So Hibs players go back to the penalty box to defend. It's played short this time, no. Variety provided by Durant. Headed away well by Keith Wright, deep inside his own box. That's Ferguson. Halstra forward. Gets beyond McAllister for Robertson. Up goes Haitley. Good play again by Gordon Hunter inside that Hibs penalty box. He has battled away extremely effectively, Hunter, the Hibs captain. Trevor Stephen. There's no offside here. Durant breaking in a very promising position. McPherson going down. That's Ferguson, and a great save once again by Leighton. He thinks the lines with his flag up, but a fine strike by Ferguson.
once again we see Ian Durrant getting a good position, sends in a lovely ball right across the area. Cleared out the middle. Good strike through a crowded defence by Ian Ferguson, but Jim Leighton was up to the occasion. He's had a good game for Hibs today, really has.
Fine match, the Hibs goalkeeper. Very good handling that. He seems to have taken a knock in his back. Jim Leighton is holding that and giving it a rub as the play goes on in the middle of the field. There's Gary Stevens and now Durrant. Plenty of Rangers players forward. One of them is McCall. Well, good energetic play again from Stuart McCall, coming from the middle of the field, very close to his best, and the noise you hear greets the arrival on the track of Ali McCoist. Tremendous applause there from the Rangers fans when they spotted McCoist coming out here, and it looks as though it's Peter Houstra who is being withdrawn. He doesn't look entirely happy about it, the Dutchman. Well, in the semi-final when he went off, they couldn't put on a replacement because he went off for the result of a red card. So the alteration being made is that McCoist joins Hateley through the middle. He's just signalled to Ian Durrant to move to that position wide on the left. So Rangers could so easily have gone ahead here. This ball played forward to Durrant. There was no offside flag, a delicate ball played in, and there was McCall in the top. Ali McCoist on, hoping to break the record of League Cup winners' medals. If he can be in the winning side this afternoon, he'll edge one ahead of Davy Cooper. They both won 8 medals so far. So Jim Leighton getting some treatment. That's why we have a hold-up. Stuart Colley, the physio, has carried out his work. And Leighton now will take the goal kick. So Durrant now operating wide on the left of midfield for Rangers. Interesting change, Billy.
Well, it sets a new problem for Hibs. I felt that Durrant has played very well just off the centre. Just off the centre forward's position, but whether or not he'll be just so valuable there, I'm not sure.
And a fine move there from Rangers. Ian Durrant popping up in his new position, sending forward a delightful pass from McCall. He tried to pick up McCoist with a pass, but, well, Durrant showing his versatility. That's a great ball for McCall. He knew exactly where McCoist was, just couldn't find him.
I think he must have heard me tempting him there, Jock.
McCoist beaten to this by Tweed. Up goes Brian Hamilton. This is Jackson. He miscued that somewhat. McAllister in the race here with Maxwell, which the goalkeeper was always going to win. Good backtracking work by McAllister, forcing Robertson to hurry. Steven to Stevens. Good running again by McCall. Steven back towards Stevens. In goes Michael O'Neill. And Richard Gough for Rangers. Rather obvious that pass from Steven, allowing Mitchell to go in. Stevens was very determined to win it back. Ferguson again to Stevens. Durrant has found space again. Not picked up properly by the Hibs defence. Well, his movement, it really has set a problem for the Hibs defence all afternoon. Gary Stevens is on his knee there. He's looking a little bit unhappy. Rangers fullback, back in his feet now, but hurtling somewhat. McCoist breaks on the right. In goes Stephen Tweed. Well, Rangers trying to step up a gear again in an attempt to win this match within the 90 minutes. Remember, it's Hibs 1, Rangers 1. We've had 25 minutes of the second half as McCoist goes to the byline. Well, perhaps an indication that the match sharpness is not yet back with him.
Yeah, the movement's there. Here we see the nice little pass. We see the movement there, but perhaps he just lacks a little bit of match sharpness. Mind you, he's just come on in a very competitive game, which is always difficult, especially after a serious injury.
Ally Maxwell looks to the heavens there as he miscues that clearance, giving possession back to Hibs. A shake of the head by the keeper. Had a good match though.
And the referee is allowing a hold up here to give some treatment to Gary Stevens. On comes Bill Collins, the Rangers physio. But Hibs certainly still have all the problems to handle, Billy, don't they? I mean, they've had the chance to come back into the match with that own goal, but it's Rangers who still have the initiative.
Well, there was a little spell after the goal when Rangers looked decidedly rocky at the back, and we saw Gary Stevens almost commit another error. But having said that, Rangers have got back in control again, and they seem to hold all the aces. Whether or not Alan McLeish is sharp enough and match fit enough to capture a chance or two, we'll have to wait and see. But certainly, from a midfield point of view, they seem to have the stranglehold in the game.
So Alec Miller on there. You can look really, he's calling to Brian Hamilton, I think, to give him some instructions. Well, if Trevor Steven was the influential midfield player for Rangers in the first half, Stuart McCall has taken over that role since the interval. He's getting better and better as the match has gone on. This is Ian Ferguson, who's also become more involved in the second period. That's a careless pass, though. Mitchell for Hibs. Not enough movement from the Hibs players ahead. Mitchell trying an ambitious pass there towards McAllister. Robertson looking there for Haitley. Comfortably won though by Hunter, but Haitley retrieves it for Rangers. That's Durant. Ferguson to Stevens. Appears to have recovered fully. Shooting chance perhaps. Caught late there by Farrell. The free kick's been given. David Farrell went in with his studs showing a fraction high. So Stevens felt this all right.
I think Farrell's just a little bit unlucky because I think Gareth Stevens uncertain in his own mind what he wants to do, whether he wants to make a pass or go in to try for a shot. But certainly the referee's right to give a foul.
Well, David Farrell, the combative midfield player for Hibs. Stevens has back in his feet quickly as Durant flights that in, looking for Goff. A very good move from Rangers. Richard Goff's run really was not adequately picked up by the Hibs defence.
They've just got so many threats from free kicks here. It's a nice little ball, but Richard Goff, in actual fact, is too much on the ball. All he's looking for there is just a little touch. Here we see it again, the early run, no one gets to him. And Jim Leighton's in no man's land there, and just gets too much on the ball. Otherwise, that would have been another goal for Rangers.
Good header again by Goff. That's Tweed. Stopped by Goff, but possession retained by Hibs. O'Neill to Miller. Hamilton made a good run through the inside right channel. Ferguson trying to match him. The good ball across. And about a foot away from Darren Jackson. Appears to have about a cramp there. Good running this by Brian Hamilton. Fine midfield play.
Yes, we haven't seen many runs from Brian Hamilton. That's one of his strong points, but he gets through the inside right position here, sends a tremendous ball across here, a very tempting ball. Dan Jackson's only inches away from making contact there.
A fine move that from Hibs, and from the reverse angle you'll see what a good ball this was. Away from Ali Maxwell, and Darren Jackson is still on the ground. He clearly is suffering from cramp, and I think he won't take much more part in the game because Gareth Evans has been produced from the dugout. And Hibs are wasting no time at all. Jackson is being withdrawn, and on comes Gareth Evans, who's such a very good replacement for any of the front players. Former Rotherham player, 26 years old, bargained by at some £50,000 5 years ago. That's Mitchell's clearance. Here's Keith Wright. That's for Evans, but he won't get in behind Goff for that. O'Neill. Now Wright. McAllister. That's good play. Here's O'Neill. Careful possession this from Hibs as McAllister tries to send over a good cross, and McPherson left with no option but to turn that behind for the corner kick. So it's the end of the cup final, but Darren Jackson is applauding the Hibs supporters. He's worked extremely hard And that could so easily have been the leading goal had he been able to get on the end of that pass from Brian Hamilton. So corner kick it is to Hibs. And the short one not being employed there as the ball goes all the way across. A little bit of bumping and boring inside the area. Hunter clashing with Goff. Here's Trevor Steven. It's back with Durant. Inside is Goff. Stevens. I don't think he really appreciated that pass, Gary Stevens. He left him with nothing else to do but give it to the goalkeeper. McCoist to Ferguson. Ferguson's so strong in possession. And down goes Durant, rather. David Farrell protesting his innocence and complaining to the referee. Dave McPherson has gone sprinting into the penalty box already. As Hibs pull everyone back. And this is Durant. Full of creative energy in Durant. Far post ball for Hateley. Back it goes to McPherson. Now Durant. And that was close. Into the side netting from Durant. But it really was an outstanding chance for Dave McPherson after Hateley's header back into the danger area.
That's right, because it's a good ball into the middle, and Mark Hateley knows he can't score, so he just nods it back there, and Dave McPherson just doesn't make any contact at all. Ian Durant almost gets on target there. Good run from him. Here we see it again. He's not all that far away.
Evans with a header. This is Goff. Looking there for Hateley. Chests it down for Durant. That's McCoist trying to pick up the run made by Robertson. Well, it was a promising build-up, that, from Rangers. A little rush of blood to the head for David Robertson. Scenting goal for the first time this season. So Jim Leighton, the Hibs goalkeeper, right back to top form, and he's been a vital player this afternoon for Hibs, keeping them in this final. 35 years old now, playing with immense enthusiasm. Mitchell did well. Wright played that against Gary Stevens' right arm. It's a free kick for handball. Stevens protesting that it wasn't intentional. Well, 11 minutes of this 90 minutes remaining. As Hibs come forward on the left with Graham Mitchell, firing in the cross. Keith Wright well beaten there by Robertson. This is Durant. Through the middle it goes to McCoist, who's dropped off his markers. Ferguson using David Robertson. A fine tackle there by Hamilton. That's for Keith Wright. Well-timed challenge by Goff, an important one. Here's Brian Hamilton leaving this to Hunter. Goff's header, in goes McAllister. Robertson waited, McAllister didn't. Evans waits in the middle with Keith Wright. Over it goes towards Evans, and it was won by Gary Stevens. A great clearing header there by Gary Stevens.
Yes, Kevin McAllister taking a real part in the game, and that's a good, very good cross. Puts the Rangers defence under real problem. All credit to Gary Stevens, who's under pressure for the Hibs goal, but look at the saving header he made there. It was excellent.
Well, Hibs again coming forward. Far post cross. Farrell was challenging, and a chance on there for Gordon Hunter. Going for the spectacular finish inside the penalty box in the volley.
This was a real chance because if the ball falls kindly for him, but typical defender's effort at goals really, because he swings at it, really doesn't. He should be hitting the target from there, not necessarily scoring. He certainly should be hitting the target from there, and doesn't create any problems at all.
From the reverse angle on the other side of the field, there was the effort made by Farrell, winning that from Goff. It was a very good chance for Hunter. There's Stephen. That's for McCoist. And Willie Miller kept his eye on the ball. It's very solid defending by Miller. Fine servant to Hibs, 23 years old. So David Robertson will launch one perhaps into the penalty area here. The long throw, looking for Hateley's flick on. Tweed is with him. That's McCoist with the acrobatic effort. McCoist does it for Rangers. He scores in the most spectacular fashion, and Rangers go in front again. Well, a man with a golden touch. He's done it again, as he's done so frequently in the past. What an incredible goal. It came from the long throw. It looked as though Tweed had done enough here, but it found its way through to McCoist. The overhead effort, and Leighton couldn't get to it. What a goal!
Yeah, the man's an absolute fairy tale, isn't he? Really, he just comes on, doesn't look properly fit. It gets a half chance inside the area, surrounded by his defenders, you see here. But it's incredible. He knows where the goal is. Overhead kick. Give Jim Leighton no chance. It's utterly astonishing. Hibs defence will be wondering why they gave him so much room here, because there were plenty of defenders there. No one gets in the real challenge. But there you go. That's Alan McCoist.
Well, the man with the golden boot. And he's done it again with the most incredible finish. So Hibs have to try to find the resources to come back in the next 7.5 minutes if they're going to save this final. So Rangers leading by 2-1. 7 minutes left. Here's McCall for Rangers. Now Stephen trying to get to the byline. He's overcarried that. Goal kick it is to Hibs. But it does indicate once again, Billy, the importance of a man like McCoist to any side. They've missed his goals this season when they've been struggling somewhat in the league. That perhaps tells the story.
Well, that's right. I mean, I hear people saying that Rangers didn't miss him. Anybody would miss a man who scored 49 goals last season. He's tremendous inside the box. And here we saw him at his best. His back's to the goal, just on, didn't look all that fit, all that sharp. He knows where the goals is, and invariably goals come to him.
Well, it could well turn out to be the winner, and a very dramatic one at that. You can see the sheer elation and joy in his face too when he scored it, even more than normal. Looked to be almost emotional after he scored that one. His first League Cup final, way back in 1984, was one in which he scored a hat-trick against Celtic to win by 3-2. So his record is truly amazing. Now O'Neill, can Hibs do it again? Can they come back? Well, it won so far in the match with the help of Dave McPherson's own goal, but they'll fight all the way, I'm sure. McPherson this time, the header goes straight to Miller. Up goes Keith Wright with Goff. O'Neill trying to get a shot in the edge of the box. A miscue there by Miller, but there's still a problem for the Rangers defence. Durant is on the ground, getting back to his feet, not looking too steady as Hibs come forward again with Farrell. This is Graham Mitchell, faced by Stephen. Switches to his right foot. Maxwell's come a long way for that. He's in trouble. And Ian Ferguson sorted it out with that lusty clearance. McCoist. Quite content to play it a long way back. Rangers have Dave McPherson on the ground inside the area as Evans picks it up at the edge of the area. This is Hamilton. Now looking, I think, for Keith Wright in the middle. So Dave McPherson requires some attention. Referee McCluskey waits until Larry Maxwell thumps the ball out of play. Just 4 minutes of the final remaining. So Dave McPherson with a blow in the area of the left eye. So time to be added on before the end. Is there any way back for Hibs, Billy? Any way back?
Yeah, I think it's perfectly capable. In fairness to Hibs, after a disappointing first half, when they got the goal, it gave them a lot of confidence. They haven't played particularly skillful football, but they've been more aggressive, more assertive in the second half. And Rangers' defence at times have looked a little bit fragile. I think in a game like this, anything can happen.
Well, time very much the enemy for Hibs. Well, here's a look at this goal again, the one which may well take the League Cup back to Ibrox. A long throw from David Robertson, which Stephen Tweed got his head to, then broke through to McCoist. One touch in the chest, the overhead effort, well out of reach for Leighton. Well, he'll be telling a few people about that for some time, I reckon. Trevor Stephen, McCoist, expected Hateley to make a run on the right, but Hateley may well consider that this is not the time for such activity. Farrell to Mitchell. Now Gary Stevens overshooting his forwards. Leighton wants to launch the ball downfield swiftly to get Hibs back in the attack. Keith Wright helped it on for McAllister. Been allowed to turn with the ball at his feet. Brought down there by Goff. The free kick to Hibs. The late opportunity from the set piece. Now 2 minutes remaining in the match. Rangers leading by 2-1. Kevin McAllister contemplating a direct shot at goal, I think. No, flighting it in. Hunter coming in for that. Hateley won it inside his own box. Oh, that's great play by McCall, and a very bad tackle by Michael O'Neill. He offers the apology, but it won't prevent him being shown a yellow card for that. There's great control by McCall.
No, it's a real clumsy challenge. It's I'm not sure there was any harmful intent there, but he can have no complaints about having his name taken.
Michael O'Neill becomes the second player to be booked after Keith Wright for ungentlemanly conduct in the first half when he dived in the penalty box. Hateley's header. There's Durant. Stephen beaten to the ball there by Mitchell, who appeared to be fouled. Yes, he was impeded by Stephen. The free kick's been given. The Rangers now content to try to see out time. The short free kick. The Rangers pulling everyone back to face the ball except McCoist and Hateley as Hibs try to find gaps again. We're into the final minute of the match as Evans turns. Brought down by Robertson. The free kick to Hibs. He's very good at that, Gareth Evans, that quick electric turn. David Murray, the chairman, with Walter Smith looking much more relaxed now. Although, he's still got to survive this set piece and perhaps some injury time. O'Neill and McAllister over the ball. O'Neill takes it, straight against the wall. McAllister, back to O'Neill. Evans trying to turn, Mitchell rather. That's taken away there by David Robertson for the throw. Still the pressure remains on the Rangers defence. The Hibs supporters getting the ball back as quickly as they can for this throw. We're into stoppage time now. Can Hibs supply a dramatic finish? There's McAllister's cross. In goes Farrell. He wasn't far away from that. Mitchell returns it, and that's a clumsy one. That may well be the last attempt by Hibs. Frustration in the face of Graham Mitchell. Ali Maxwell, I'm sure, will take plenty of time about this goal kick. Referee Jim McCluskey has already checked with his linesman. And he'll do so again, I'm sure, shortly. He's into stoppage time. Exchanging a word or two with some of the players. The Rangers players clearly want that final whistle to be blown. Stephen Tweed left to loft the ball downfield. Michael O'Neill gets to it there. It's cleared by Robertson. straight to Mitchell. Has to be the long ball through the middle again, looking for a mistake by the Rangers defence. Well, could that be the mistake? Here's Evans. Gary Stevens missed that. Maxwell's come a long way. Did enough there to beat the ball to safety. And Hateley breaks here. Battling hard with Farrell. Well, what a hefty challenge that was. Farrell and Hateley going with total commitment there. Well, Hateley is certainly responding there to his teammates, but there was no shirking there on the part of either player, and that sums up this cup final. A very tough challenge between Hateley and Farrell. Total commitment by both players.
It was a real powerful challenge from Mark Hateley, but this time in the game, that's exactly what you want from the team. I can only think that David Farrell's knee must have hit the head or something there. He certainly doesn't seem to be anything wrong with his legs or anything, but that's the type of commitment you need from all your team when you're defending a lead like this.
Well, David Farrell none the worse. He certainly has battled very hard in that Hibs midfield. Well, he's the player to win the tackles in that area, and he goes over to Mark Hateley, showing professional respect. The Rangers fans chanting Mark Hateley's name. It's so different from the first few weeks of his Ibrox stay back in 1990. And he was not received well by the Rangers fans initially. It's hard to remember that. Mitchell lofts it forward. Tweed has stayed upfield. Goff wins that. Played forward by Mitchell. Robertson the winner again. Well, here's Hunter. Missed kick by Ferguson. Evans helps that on for O'Neill. Can he get this across goal? Only as far as Goff. Here's Trevor Stephen, who may be one of the calmest players in the field at this stage. Playing it into space for the Durant. There is no offside. McCoy wants it played across the near post. It goes to Hateley, the far side. And that certainly would have settled it. The corner kick to Rangers. We're well into stoppage time now. Referee McCluskey has played more than 3 minutes, 3.5 minutes. Nearly 4 minutes of extra time has been added on. 2-1 it is to Rangers. Hateley feeling the effects of that blow in the face in the tackle with Farrell. It's back with McCall, the keeper of the corner flag, I reckon. Back it comes to Gary Stevens. And the final whistle goes. The first trophy of the season goes to Rangers. And really there can be no argument about their merit in winning this match. The spectacular winning goal came from Ali McCoist. Just about 8 minutes from the end, the overhead kick to win the final. And all three Rangers goals, in fact, scored by Rangers players. Ian Durant had the first. And then 4 minutes later, an own goal by Dave McPherson after Keith Wright's cross from the left. But Rangers kept up the pressure. They looked to be the better side for the bulk of the match, and they earned their due reward when Ali McCoy's popped up near the end, and he's greeted there by his manager. Heartfelt thanks again. It's happened so frequently in the past. So a happy Rangers manager seeing his team pick up the first trophy in the defence of the treble. A colourful scene here from the Rangers supporters as Richard Goff leads the players up the staircase there. Very difficult to get through all these happy Rangers fans. But it's Richard Goff who is coming to collect the Scottish League Cup. The first leg of the treble defended successfully. And the trophy being handed down. Ali Maxwell, the second major trophy, having won the Scottish Cup with Motherwell 2 years ago. Dave McPherson, they're thoroughly relieved after his own goal put him back in the match. So down the line of players it goes. And they certainly did come out this afternoon as though this was a match of immense importance to them. Their authority as the #1 side in the country had been challenged by Hibs, and they've come up with a very powerful response. Gary Stevens followed down there by Stuart McCall. Ian Durant has scored the first and was so influential throughout the match. And Ali McCoist at the end there holds the trophy aloft a special cheer. Alexei Mikhailchenko, the substitute who wasn't used. McCoist goes down. He played in the match for about 14 minutes only, but that was enough to conjure up that incredible winning goal. So he's mobbed as he makes his way down the stairs, back down for the celebrations on the field. Well, there's the dummy champagne bottle for him to take down on the field. He watched the Tennis Scottish Cup final, McCoist. He was on the track, and you remember with his crutches. And there he goes now. He's down to give it a few words at the end of the game with Rob McLean.
1 second. Ali, I wasn't sure if that was you or Roy of the Rovers there coming on as sub.
I couldn't believe it myself, Rob. Always felt I had a wee chance of scoring. There was one before it when Reid Durante maybe miscued it. I thought if it hit it the flat side of the goal I was on it, but the gaffer obviously was right. I didn't think he was right at the start of the game, but he's been proved right again. So
I hate the question, talk us through the goal, but talk us through the goal.
I can't really remember. It came from the left-hand side of the box, and it came off something. It just was up in the air, and I just managed to. I think is this your first medal?
We'll let you get your photo taken. I know you don't like it, but on you go.
Thanks very much, Rob. Thank you.
So a winning team photograph being taken there. That's why Ali McCoist and Trevor Stephen had to rush off. So the photographers there to take that photograph, which you'll see in the morning papers.
This job is about 9 things going wrong and 1 thing going right.